Good morning,
Good
Miss Lily.
morning.
It's trying to reconnect.
Okay.
Reconnect.
Let's see if we're here.
Okay, let's see if we're here.
Are we here? Are we here?
We're
I think it sure looks like we're here.
we might be having technical difficulties.
Oh,
no, we're here.
we're here.
Look at that. We're
Let's
here.
see if we're here. There we go.
We're here. I
Good
had to pull
morning.
my shirt up because I might have been trying to flash some little cleavage, and but nobody wants to see that this year. Good morning. Oh my goodness, did you have a good Christmas?
I did. We had a lovely Christmas day. It was really chill. We had sick kids, so that wasn't very fun. But I got to tell you a funny story. So my mom always gives the kids Christmas jammies, which we're supposed to open Christmas Eve. So this is Christmas Eve, I think. Yeah. And I'm looking for these Christmas jammies, and I can't find them anywhere.
Oh no.
And I'm getting so worried, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to call my mom. And I thought, okay, maybe if she tells me when she gave them to me, then I'll remember to retrace my steps and where I put them. So my sister called, so I was talking to her, and then my mom beeps in, and I tell my sister, I says, I'm gonna have to confess that I lost the Christmas jammies.
Oh no.
So my mom calls, and she goes, Liz, I never gave you your Christmas jammies.
So your mom called to confess.
That's the best news of the whole day, because I've been going crazy about
my gosh.
I had looked in my cars, I had looked in my garage, I had looked
my
all around
gosh.
the house, I had looked every gift bag that I could think of, everything.
my
And she's
gosh.
like, I feel so bad. And I'm like, no, I'm just so relieved
Thank
that I
you,
didn't
Mama.
lose them.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Oh,
We had talked
goodness.
about her giving them to me several times, and then just never actually. Anyway, that was the Christmas miracle.
Sometimes those Christmas miracles are the best, right?
I was so glad that I didn't lose them.
I know. Well, I could have sworn that I bought some other things and
You didn't, or you can't find them.
I can't find them.
Yeah, I know that happens. Good morning, Pam Davis. She says, "Good morning and Happy New Year."
Oh, Happy New Year to you. I can't wait. So Miss Pam has our beautiful feathered star, that blue. She texted me yesterday and said I put it in the mail. I can't wait to see that one. She
love
does such a
packages
beautiful
from
job. We do.
Pam, we're just gonna start calling you our sewing Santa.
Yeah, my little miracle that gets all these beautiful samples done for us. Yes. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
but I had a great Christmas.
good.
And you?
Well, Stan was sick at our house. He got sick Christmas Eve, and he says he's starting to feel a little better today, but we ended up in the ER, and they're not sure. So they tested him for COVID. They tested him for flu. They did a chest X-ray, no pneumonia. But poor guy he's not really eating. He's just sleeping.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not been feeling
whatever
great.
the junk is going around, it has been terrible.
We were in the ER room for over 3 hours on Saturday evening, and they said they had just been slammed all day long. So
yeah, everyone I've heard, and it's not like a quick thing. I mean,
no.
my Kate, she's 18, but she was down for a
was
solid
so bad.
6 days. I mean, down. And she said every day, one day her nose was just running like crazy. One day she was super nauseous. One day so it was like every day. One day she had a really bad sore throat. One day she had a really bad headache. So it was like every day was new sickness. And so anyway, it's just been terrible. But luckily, I am still healthy.
Me too. And nobody else in our family got it. And Stan was around everybody on Christmas Eve, everybody Christmas. Kendall stayed with us through yesterday. Nobody else has gotten his crap. So poor guy.
Because it feels like everybody's gotten it. So hopefully we can all stay healthy.
Yeah.
But
give that one a good try.
yeah, but I'm sorry, I didn't know you were in the ER. Yeah.
Yeah. But he said he feels better today. Yesterday he said he felt a little better yesterday. But like he just would get so cold.
Yeah.
He just shake uncontrollably. Oh, it was poor guy.
Yeah.
I felt bad
it's
for
been
him.
yucky.
It's
but
been yucky. A lot of that stuff.
The thing
going
with Kate is she feels better. I think she really does because she's
Oh,
doing
good.
things, but she doesn't sound any better. She still has a yucky cough. She's still super congested, but she actually, has energy and, wants to eat and all those things.
good.
All those things. So
Yeah, our Tessa got a really bad cold too. She's really coughing around, but
yeah.
I'm not.
That's the thing. The cough can last for like a month. Like it can just
at least.
linger on, and
at least.
Ugh, not fun.
No,
But I
we
hope
don't.
you guys are healthy.
Yeah, we hope you're all.
I
We
hope
hope
your
you're all
Christmas
great.
was
We had a
good.
great Christmas anyway.
Good.
We laugh, we giggle, we take silly videos, and I mean, we have so much. We have a great time.
Good
But
time.
well, I think first we need to tell them before we launch into this. We need to tell them about a couple of things.
Yes.
New Year's Day, so we're closed tomorrow.
Yes, we're
We're
closed
closed
tomorrow.
And I'm glad you picked that up because I think on the email
Yeah,
letter I gave you, I
said
kind of
something
messed
different.
up.
But
And
I was like, no.
I read it.
We
and I'm
already
like,
told everyone they were going to be closed.
I read it and I'm like, did I mess that up or did Liz? No, it's probably me. And I went and looked and yep, it was me. So thank you for catching that. I don't know what I'd do without this one next to me. Anyway, so we are closed tomorrow. We're open, excuse me, on New Year's Day from 11 until 1 in the store with some store specials.
Yep.
And
Some
then
good
store
store
specials. But you do have to come see us.
Yeah,
to
it's
get
in the
those
store only.
Specials.
And just for those 2 hours. So.
And then at 1 o'clock, the store is closed, and we come over to this side, and we have our quilt auction, and Rudy is doing that. I have to get all my stuff rounded up, though.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I do.
So that's in
I do.
2 days.
Yeah.
That's coming up.
It
you believe-
is.
2026. How long is it going to take me to switch to writing 2026?
Excuse me. You know, I was so proud of myself last year because I always screw up. Anytime I go to write a check the first of the year, I didn't do that last year. I'll probably make up for it next year just because I said that.
Probably. I mean, the other day, it was a while ago. I wrote like 2013 on something. I was like, whoa,
What happened in 2013? One day I wrote 1989.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even in this century. I backed it. I really backed it up. Anyway, so that's what's going on in the store later on in the week. But let's talk too for a minute about what we're going to talk about next week
Yes.
on Village Vibe.
We're gonna
I think
give
we
you a
need to
heads
do
up.
that. Heads up.
So last year at the beginning of the year, we talked about setting goals, and I'm so passionate about it because I felt like it made such a difference in my quilting as a new quilter and even as an experienced quilter. I've set some of those goals and they really have made a huge difference in my quilting journey. So I'm hoping to share that passion with you guys. So we had you guys all set goals for this last year. So next week, we're going to talk about your 2025 goals. How did that go? Did you like it? We also talked about, you know, if you didn't want to do a yearly goal, you could do a monthly goal, you could do a quarterly goal.
Right.
If you wanted to have a couple different ones going on. So I set 2. I've only accomplished 1. Fran set 1.
And have accomplished nothing.
Haven't
But it made a
accomplished.
great curtain again for my camel room this year.
So think about what you thought about, or if there's just been something that you necessarily didn't set as a goal, but you know, have improved on or something. So we'd love to talk about that next
or
week.
something you want to learn. It
Yeah.
doesn't even have to be a UFO. Like, I think sometimes the beginning of the year, I always think, okay, this is going to be my year. I'm going to clean out crap. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Sometimes those goals are almost too big.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to do a baby bite.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to say for my goal, I'm going to clean out 1 tote a month.
Or spend 30 minutes doing something. And whatever you accomplish in 30 minutes is what you accomplish.
Maybe 10, because you know I have ADD, so I don't know if I can stick with it for 30 minutes.
Have you
but
seen those videos? You probably haven't. Where people tie themselves, put kind of a leash to themselves to their dishwasher so that they don't get distracted while they're putting away their dishes.
That's what
so
I need.
think we could do that. I think
you
we
want to
should.
give me what? You want to give me a leash?
We're gonna get you a
Stand,
leash.
tie her down, keep her in that room until she does a tote. Yeah.
So, but along with that, if you didn't do it with us for 2025 or it didn't work out the way you wanted to, think about what you want to do for 2026.
I think goals are very important. Years and years and years ago, I worked for Weight Watchers, and that was one of their big things was set goals and set realistic goals.
Yes.
I think that's the most important thing about us setting a goal. Like I said, for me to set a goal and say, I don't want to clean out my gamble room in 22.
Yeah.
That's probably really not a realistic goal. I would like it to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I said, you know, I'm going to break it down and say, okay, maybe I'll do this tote. Maybe I'll clean that shelf or whatever. Break them down to where they're attainable goals. Because if you don't, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And it's...
And making a plan for accomplishing those. So the goal that I didn't accomplish this year, I really feel like I need to probably come to Quilters Kindergarten and have Susan help me with it. And so, but I never did that. So then it's not
You're
done.
busy.
So, not only, setting the goal, but then figuring out like
plan.
the small steps that you need to
plan
accomplish
to
to
get-
get there. So anyway, we'll talk all about that next week. So just be thinking and commenting and, be ready to join with us next week because we'd love to have you. Jan Dallin says, Happy New Year to both of you and your families. Thanks for joining, Jan. Good morning, Jordan. How are you?
Good morning, Jordy. Happy New Year's.
And Karen says, Happy New Year, both wonderful. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you,
That's so nice of
Karen.
you. So, but we have a lot to discuss. Well, Fran has been busy preparing things to discuss with you today.
Shock here. So Liz calls me last night. And funny thing was, I had thought about this on my way home from work. I thought, what are we doing for Village Vibes tomorrow? So when Liz and I went to Colorado in September, right? Or October.
I think it was October.
It was October. We actually sat down and had a planning day, and we planned out for the rest of the year.
So nice.
Except for today.
Except we're all out of our plan.
We're all out of plan.
So now we
Donna
gotta
this
plan.
morning told me we got to go back to Colorado again.
Yeah.
And do it again.
Well, let's go someplace warmer.
Oh, okay. My friend Linda lives in Florida.
Okay, let's
Okay, let me call Linda today. She'd love to have us. So Liz calls me last night as I got home, and she said,
what are we doing? What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? So we kind of bounced some ideas off of each other, and this morning I thought, okay, that was a great starting place for me. It gave me the idea, and then I kind of ran with it. And you guys, when did you see how organized?
We have so many things to show you. I'm
We have
excited.
a lot of stuff to show you and talk about. So we're going to talk today about some piecing tips. I think that's a good title for it. Although it's not all piecing, but what I'm hoping that you can take away from this one today is maybe how to learn a couple of tips and tricks that will maybe make your piecing a little bit easier for you, right? Okay.
And maybe some of these things that you have in your drawer that you think, oh, maybe I should pull that out.
You should.
And use that because Fran says it will help me.
Because it will. So first thing I want to tell you about, because to me this is so important. In my next life, you know what I'm going to be?
What?
I'm going to be a machine maintenance girl.
Oh, okay.
Or guy.
Yeah, next life you can start over.
Yeah. But I think it's very, very important. I mean, we've spent a lot of money on our sewing machines, right? We have beautiful sewing machines that do a great job, but they're just like our bodies. Every once in a while, they need a little bit of maintenance, right? So I always will clean and oil my machine. And I can hear my machine. You can take it out of the package, sweetie. You can take it out. It's mine.
Oh,
you
okay.
can take it out. Yeah, that one's mine.
Oh, it comes out this way.
Okay,
Look how nice this brush is. It's got two ends, and this is a bit stiffer of an end, and this is a bit softer of an end, but great brush.
Very important to get all of that.
Inexpensive.
Oh gosh, I think they're like $2, right?
I don't know.
I think they're like $2. And use good sewing machine oil. Don't use 3-in-1 oil. That is not good sewing machine oil. Use a good quality sewing machine oil. When your oil starts to turn yellow, it's not good anymore. Get rid of it.
That's a good thing to know.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
So I have two machines that I don't oil.
Yes.
So make sure you know your machine.
But
I do have one machine that I do need to oil.
Do you not oil in your bobbin area? No, none at all. No place at all. Which machine is that?
Baby lock.
Oh, baby lock. Okay.
So I don't oil that. But my Juki, I do need to oil. And I oil that about every time I use it because I don't use it a ton.
often.
So anyway, but yeah, know what your machine is.
Yes.
And your oil points.
Yes. So look at your manual first. So if it's not a machine that you're supposed to oil, do not oil it. My Bernina, I oil in my bobbin area. Now, I had a little bit of training from the most amazing man, Mr. Mike. So I kind of know where to clean and oil the Berninas where they are not telling you you're really supposed to do. But know your machine, look in your manual, see where it tells you, and listen to it. People ask me all the time, how often should I be oiling this? So we do a featherweight maintenance class here, which I've got to schedule another one. And I say, your machine will tell you when it needs a drop of oil. And I'm not talking about your Saturday night bath. Okay, we do not need to have oil dripping off of all of these parts. A drop, really, a drop. And when I oil my bobbin area on my Bernina, which is what I'm oiling most on that one, I will then take my little my little piece of fabric that I use as a leader and ender, and I will run that through several times because I don't want that oil to accidentally come up and get on my piecing that I'm doing, right? So make sure that you keep your machine in good working order.
Now, because I don't oil my baby locks, I feel like it's more important that they're in regularly for service because that's where the oiling happens.
Yes.
And so I know that I can't go maybe as long as I would on something else because I'm not doing some of that maintenance. So I have to be more vigilant with that.
And if it's a machine that you are sewing on quite a bit, because that one is your main sewing one, I would say at least once a year, you should take it to your favorite repair shop, and ours still remains Bernina in Logan. But and I know that they do service lots of kinds of machines.
Yeah, and they service my Juki.
Yeah. So some of the parts they can't get for other machines, but they're an amazing shop to do.
But whoever services your machine can also give you a quick 2-minute do this and this and this at home. So ask questions of wherever you take your machine, and then you can get some good answers.
And just make sure this is something that everyone can do. You don't need.
Oh yeah, you don't
clean that lint out of there.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Sometimes under those feed dogs there are not felt pads. That is a lint buildup.
Yes.
Clean it.
Clean it. I have a good rule. I wind 3 bobbins at a time. When those 3 bobbins are out, then I totally take apart my machine and clean it as best I can. So
good.
That's my routine, and it works pretty good.
So mine is when I run out of a bobbin. That's when
you do it every time.
I do it every time.
I feel like I can go every 3.
I use Orifil thread in there, so that's a finer thread. So there's a lot of sewing before that bobbin is empty. So I do it every time.
Every time.
Every time. Every time. Now, okay. A new needle, you guys. Donna.
This is the one I feel like I can hear.
My Donna. I hope you're listening, or I hope you watch this later. So I go out to Colorado and I'm sewing on Donna's machine, and it's just like, it's skippy. It's not doing a good job. And she has a beautiful little machine that I was sewing on. It's a little Pfaff machine, and it's gorgeous. Well, it's not doing a good sewing job. And I'm like, Donna, what's wrong with your machine? She's like, nothing, Mom. And I said, look at these stitches. And she's like, I said, when was the last time you changed your needle? She said, I don't change my needle unless I break it. And I'm like, oh. So I took her needle off and I said, feel the tip of your needle. And it was blunt.
Yeah.
I said, honey.
Yeah, you can tell a difference.
And it makes a huge difference.
And I think you'll get a nicer stitch. It won't mess up your fabric. It won't pull your threads on your fabric. It's a pretty big deal.
And sometimes a blunt needle can actually put a little burr down on your bobbin area. So it really is important to use a good needle. My favorite needles are these Superior Top Stitch needles.
Those are mine too.
I love these. And I don't know what there is about them, but since switching to these, I feel like my piecing is better. So they're my favorite needles.
They do last. I feel like a long time. They really are a good needle,
because they're
titanium. But they get used.
And they need to be replaced.
It's a consumable.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We've already talked about our favorite threads.
Yep.
Orifil is my favorite. It is a thinner thread, so I don't have to wind my bobbins quite as often.
I like that.
And if you are doing especially tiny piecing, it can make all the difference in the world, your thread weight. And we've talked about that, I know, on here before, but Orifil's an amazing thread. Mettler makes an amazing thread. Gutermann is a great thread. Of those 3 threads, Mettler is the finest. They're all 50 weight.
No. Orifil's the finest.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, not Mettler. Mettler's medium. Right in the middle. Thank you, Miss Liz. Orifil is the finest. And then Mettler, and then Gutermann. Gutermann is the thickest. So if you are using one of those other threads, here's a thing that you could do. And like I said, they're all great threads. Don't throw away all of your other threads and go out and buy all Orifil. No. We all know how expensive thread is. But if your 1/4 inch is off a little bit, because Your cutting and your 1/4-inch seams are probably the most important things that you're going to do, and you're pressing to get a good seam in there. Now, you don't have to have one of these. This is made by Perkins. It's called a Perfect Piecing Seam Guide. And I know it's probably really hard to see that little tiny dot behind my finger. You actually put this in your sewing machine, you drop your needle down, and you look and see where the end of your foot is. But you don't have to have one of those. You can sew a couple of pieces together of fabric, measure, but you do want to make sure that you are sewing a good 1/4-inch seam. Some people actually have to move their needle position to get a good 1/4-inch. Yeah, so good 1/4-inch seam is so important.
And your foot can make a difference.
Yes,
you can also have a seam guide. There's all sorts of different tools out there to help you get a good.
Do you know what I just bought that I haven't tried yet?
What?
I bought a laser light that goes on your machine. So then I haven't tried it yet, so we're going to see. But, when you're making like half square triangles or you're marking your fabrics.
I love it for binding.
You have a laser light on yours?
I do. My machine came with it.
Well, hot diggity dog. I'm going to have to get,
it's really nice.
Well, I'm going to try this out. We just got it right before Christmas, and I haven't had a chance to put it on my machine yet. But I'm going to try that one too. Okay. Now, I can give you a little bit of useless information. Change the blade on your rotary cutters.
I don't know why I don't do this more often. I just grab it and go. I don't know why.
I know.
And then...
Do you want to know my useless information?
Yes.
Do you know more people cut themselves using a dull blade than a sharp one? Because we're like this. And it's really hard on your mat.
Yeah, that's true.
So do your mat a favor. Do your fingers
and
a
your
favor.
Arms. And
all the things, right? So a good sharp... And well, obviously, if you run over a pin, you're going to have to change it out a little bit faster because then it jumps, right? And we've all done that.
Or you nick your ruler or something. Yeah, so, there are things. But again, it's a consumable. It does need to be changed.
It does. And the ones that I love the very most are the endurance blades because they do last longer.
They do last a lot longer.
They're pricier.
They are,
But I feel like it's a good value.
Yeah, I feel
like they're good. Okay, now we're going to talk about some proper tools. All right, I brought along to show you a nail. We've all used these lovely yellow head pins, right? And this is probably going to be hard for you to see, but the yellow head pin, look at how much thicker that is than the blue one.
And you have them at home maybe, so you could definitely
pick it up, but compare them. So if I am using this nail in my piecing, it's going to move my fabric because it's bigger, it's thicker, it's just bigger. So it is going to move my fabric, right? These are just the little clover fine pins, and they just are our favorites. And you know what? It was really sad because for a while I couldn't get them.
Oh.
And I noticed again, they're out of stock once again. But I have some in my drawer next to back stock. Because once they finally came in, I ordered some extras. Yes, so these little fine pins are
They do bend easier.
They do.
And so
they do.
What I do, I have an empty water bottle by my sewing machine. And when I get a bent pin, I use bent pins because we all do. But when they're bent beyond use, then I just stick it in that water bottle and put the lid on, and then that's my sharps container.
Do you know what I have?
What?
I have an old prescription bottle that I use for
there you
that
go.
because it's just little, and we all have those empty ones. And my old needles, my bent broken pins, whatever.
Yep.
That's where
I
they
just
go.
throw it in a water bottle
Good for you.
Drank a bottle of water and I was like,
for
I
you.
need something.
I need something to put my pins in.
It works out great. But these are my favorite too. And they have these smaller ones that are blue and yellow. And then they have a bit longer ones. They're just the teeniest bit fatter, but they're kind of rust colored and tealy. And I like them. They're longer. I like those ones too.
Well, the longer they are, the more I'm prone to poking myself.
Well, I always poke. And that is something to get used to.
Yeah.
This hurts when you poke yourself.
Oh,
but these fine
really
ones,
hurt.
they really poke. But it's okay. It's just
a little blood.
Yeah.
And more useless information. If you get blood on your fabric, you know what you do?
What?
You spit on it.
Suck it?
No, you spit on it.
Okay.
Because your saliva will take your blood out. It won't take, like if you bled and I spit on yours, that'd be kind of gross. But it would take it out. But while we're talking pins, let's talk one more thing. Let's talk about a fork pin. So when you have lots of points that you're trying to get to come together, sometimes they're kind of tricky, right?
Yeah.
So I like to use a fork pin. So here's what you do. You take your piece, that's your top piece, you put your fork pin in right
Not
here.
your fork pin, your regular pin.
your regular pin. Thank you, Miss Liz. You put that in. I don't know. You probably can't see what I'm trying to show you.
Oh, there you go.
You
I
can,
think
right
it's
there. And it's not right at the tip, but you see what I mean. Then you take your piece that you're matching it to, you put that on the bottom, and you take your pin and you insert that, again, right into that tip.
So you go point to point matched
Point to point matched up. Then you're going to leave that pin standing right there just like a big tall soldier, right? I'm not going to move that. I'm going to now take my fork pin and I am going to come in.
Here.
Thank you. I'm going to come in on both sides of that pin. And I'm just going to take a little small bite, just like so, so that that fork pin is on both sides of my pin and my seam. Then I'm going to take this out. Now, here's my rules. We all know this.
Here, I'm going to put this back down because
Yep.
I'm not stable.
No, don't. There. I always say do not sew over pins, right?
Yeah, be careful.
Be really careful. So here's a couple. Well, you can break your sewing machine needle. You can break the pin. But the worst thing is you can throw your timing all off on your sewing machine. And you don't want to do that. That's an expensive. So, but you have to sew over this fork pin to start.
But not with your foot.
Not with your foot. So here's what I do. I start sewing. Sew. As I start to get close to that fork pin, stop. I'm gonna use my hand and turn my hand wheel with my hand until I've gone a couple of stitches over that fork pin. Then you can pull that fork pin out and finish right on. So you do have to sew over that, or or your fabric moves. Your point doesn't stay there, right? So that is my little tip about pins and fork pins. Now, okay, I'm gonna talk about this. Sometimes when we first start to sew or when we end, it's nothing that you're doing, it's your machine. It wants to grab that fabric and kind of pull it, right?
It pulls it one way or the other. And
It does. An awl will help you hold, and this is the Beautiful by Annie awl.
that's my favorite.
It's my favorite too. And this end down here, if you didn't know what this end is for, that's a little pressing tool. It's pretty cool. Anyway, an awl will really help your fabric not shift when you first start. Okay, awl, very, very important. Okay, then let's talk about a rotating mat when we're trimming. And I'm kind of bouncing around here just a little tiny bit, and you know, everybody makes fun of me for my rotating mat because can you see there's no marks on it? I don't care because I don't use the marks
on it either.
But when you are trimming your piece up, if you've got it on that rotating mat, you don't have to pick that piece up. And the less you can handle that as you're trimming, the better it is, right? So rotating mat, I'm going to trim this side, rotate it around, and trim my other side, just like so, right? And that works really nicely.
And there's a couple different
there's
rotating mats out there, and try it. There's a different brand out there, and I tried this one compared to the Sue Daly one, and I felt like the Sue Daly one moved a little bit too much.
Too.
I felt like it. But Sue Daly uses hers for paper piecing. She doesn't use it for trimming. Right. So it's got a different purpose. But
and they make square ones. I don't like the square ones as well because they knock everything off. But they do make a larger round one as well.
I have a larger round one that's a Martelli brand. Ooh. And I really like it. It rolls really nicely.
You're pricey.
I bought it so long ago on like some sort of auction site or something. I got a really good deal.
Oh, good
but
for
the Martelli
you.
ones are very expensive.
Yeah, they are. But they're good. They make really good stuff. They really nice stuff. Really nice stuff. So, okay, how about let's talk about some marking tools, right? So sometimes if we're drawing lines for half square triangles, or we're drawing lines for flying geese, or quarter square triangles, or we're just, so I made, never done this before. I made a Lone Star block.
Oh.
Not the big quilt, a block for this amazing quilt that is kind of kicking my fanny, but it's going to be gorgeous when it's done. But I was having trouble getting all of those little angles to match, right? So what I finally figured out, because you know I'm self-taught, I have to teach my own self. What I finally figured out, because you have those seams that are coming together like this, well, you can't see that back seam. Where's it hitting?
Right.
Okay, I figured out, if you marked your 1/4 inch seam allowance on both sides, stuck that pin right in where those two came together.
Made a huge difference.
Oh my gosh, because I was unpicking and I'm like, man, nobody got time for this. So I figured out if I drew my 1/4 inch seam allowance on there. Now, for that, I did use the friction pin. I like these pins because they iron off. So I like the friction pins. If I'm just marking, now I could sell you a big fancy quilting pencil. Why? A little, I do like a mechanical pencil though. And
me
this
too.
is just a fun little Bic mechanical pencil.
You buy it at back to school time.
Yeah, because they have great sales at back to school. And then, like if I am doing half square triangles, I'm gonna line my ruler. This is called a magic wand. My favorite specialty ruler of all time. Studio 180 makes these and they're amazing. I use it for half square triangles, 1/4 square triangles, and flying geese. Anything that I need to draw my line, right? So what you do on this is there is a little 1/4 inch. See this line that goes right down the center?
Line.
It's a laser line, and it is a 1/4 inch on both sides, and it is a perfect 1/4 inch. So you're not guessing, where's my 1/4 inch? So I will lay my ruler on there. Sandpaper board. I forgot about a sandpaper board. Oh, you guys.
I keep my magic wand sitting on top of my sandpaper board with a mechanical pencil.
Yep, all the things
just
ready
sitting
to
right
go.
there next to me.
Because the sandpaper board, like if I were to just draw this on my cutting table, my rotate, on whatever, my fabric is going to tend to slip, right? But if you've got this on a little sandpaper board, it does not move. It's amazing. So I'm going to draw my line on both sides. That's my sewing line. I am now ready to stitch that.
Yep.
So a mechanical pencil for that. And then if I've got something that's dark though, that my black lead's not going to show up. So this is actually, it's our very favorite. It's a Stabilo pencil. This was actually made, you know, when they do the painting designs on windows.
Oh.
This pencil you can use to write on glass to make your outline of what you want to paint with. But it also works great on fabric. And you don't spit on it. But a little bit of water, and it just comes off. But it stays on there. I use this on wool when I'm working with excuse me, some dark colored wool that I need to see that. So my white pencil, my iron off, and my handy dandy big pencil. Those are
the ones you use the most. Every once in a while I have to use something different, but
like a water soluble, like those. I don't use those I don't have great luck getting that out sometimes.
I don't use, well, I have used the air erase pens.
Yep.
But I use it so rarely that
it dries out before you've used it all.
But you know, you got to try some of those things.
You do need to try some of those because some of those things work better. Those are just my 3 favorite ones. And then, okay, now we're going to talk about some specialty rulers. We all know that I love me some specialty rulers, but it has to be a ruler that's functional that I can use for more than one thing.
Multiple things,
Because they're pricey.
They are pricey.
But if I can use these, and if you start looking at quilts or quilt blocks, oh, that's a flying geese unit in there. I could use my ruler. Oh, that's a cat's cradle. That's a Lemoyne star. That's square to square. That, all the things. If you've bought these rulers, and we say this over and over and over again in our second Saturday. get them out of your drawer and use
Yeah.
them. You know, you spent good money on those. Get them out and use them. So we're not going to take a lot of time going over specialty rulers, but this is one of my very most favorite. This is Creative Grids. It's the Ultimate Flying Geese Ruler. It actually makes 4 perfect flying geese units at a time.
I love that.
I love this ruler. So this isn't the beginning of it, but I just kind of wanted to show you. Let me find the right markings on here. This is a C right there. Okay. So you just find your markings on the one side. You trim it on the side and the top. Then you flip it around. You flip your block around. You use trim down size 2. You find your C letters, and this is already trimmed, so that's going to fit just perfect right there, and it would if I could hold it and show you very nicely. And then you trim the other 2 sides. You do that on all 4 of those flying geese, and you end up with 4 perfect flying geese. Now let's just talk for a second about square square. What is the math for square square?
Oh, it's terrible.
1.49999 bajillion 2300,063. Close enough.
Because it's on point. That's why it's funky.
It is funky. So this is one of my very favorite ruler companies, Studio 180. This Miss Dip Tucker is brilliant. And you know what? Her husband's not too bad himself. He's a very nice gentleman. I talked to him yesterday. But anyway, Studio 180 has some amazing, amazing rulers. The magic wand that I showed you, that is theirs. This squared ruler, I've got another one that I'm going to show you. They are also theirs. So they have taken the math out of this. I don't think I have a plain sheet of paper. Well, let me see. Well, how about, you know what? You have a plain piece? Oh, good. That might help us.
Yep.
Okay, so when you look at this, oh, wait a minute. Well, it's going to be backwards too. I'm really sorry. Maybe if I put it backwards.
If you put it backwards, it'll work.
Oh, let's see if this works, you guys. Does it work?
I don't know. They probably can't see it anyway.
Okay.
But
all right. So what I wanted to really show you on this is over here on this part, she tells you what size you need to cut for.
Yes.
Did it work? Oh, great. Okay, so she tells you what size to cut for, and these are finished sizes. So when you're working with a specialty ruler, that's the one most important thing you need to know. What are the sizes on there? Some rulers give you an unfinished size, and some give you finished. So
I would say most specialty, I'm just seeing do finished sizes.
Finished sizes. So
just pay attention.
Pay attention. You need to know that. Okay, so she shows you what sizes you're going to be cutting, and then this part of the ruler here is your first part that you are going to cut for your center. So you use your ruler because there's no mark on a regular ruler. Some of them are pretty close, but really
For most of them, they're not.
most of them are not. So you use this part of your ruler first to cut that center, and then she tells you what size squares you need to cut and sew those onto your sides. Then you're going to flip it around, and you're going to use this side of the ruler to trim your perfect square and a square.
And that's one of the things I love about Deb's rulers is they're oversized so that you can do that final trim up.
Yes.
Because that to me makes all the difference.
Well, it makes all the difference in you getting your perfect quarter-inch seams. So you can see on this little one where it's marked, that is where it's actually going to get trimmed. So you can see there's a little bit of waste. There's not enough. You can make another whole block. There are a couple out there that there is so much waste on them. But that is not the case with the squared ruler. So we love the squared ruler. Mixed one, probably my most favorite of all time, right? Because everybody knows the Lemoyne Star is our store.
Yes,
is our
it
store.
is.
Now, but that reminds me, I need to talk about. Well, we will in a second.
Yeah,
I'll show you this part. But here is, look at this fun. Oh, I did have a blank piece. Look at that fun ruler. Is that not fun? So this one ruler, and this is another thing that I really appreciate about these rulers that I'm showing you, they do multiple sizes. And Block Lock is another specialty ruler that's amazing, but like on their Flying Geese rulers, it does one side and size, and They're very
and
pricey.
it's the nature of how cool their rulers are that's why they only do one size. But then you have to have lots of different rulers, and you have to buy a lot of them and
now
keep
their
track of
half-square
them all.
triangle block
Yes,
ruler,
that's true.
that one is nice because that one they have different sizes of that, and it will do multiple sizes. So I do like to use that one
But
as
the
well.
Lemoyne or the Deb Tucker's, the multiple
So
sizes.
many sizes. This this Lemoyne Star ruler does everything from a 3 to a 12-inch block.
Which is pretty unique. So, and maybe you don't use Lemoyne Stars, or maybe you don't love them, but we do, and we use them here at our store all the time, and they're so cute.
And I want you to look at this little block. See the center of my little block? That's pretty dadgum good.
It
and
is.
see all my points? That's the ruler.
Yeah.
That's the ruler.
And the
that'll
trim
let-
down, the oversizing, the trim downs, the way that her method, it really is pretty magical. So
It's way magical. Another one of Miss Deb Tucker's rulers, which I've really been enjoying lately, is called, I'm going to turn it backwards,
There you
is
go.
called the Tucker Trimmer. And you guys, this little ruler, and I want to point out one thing to you. See, on this end, you've got a half circle, and this one, you've got a hole. So if you're trimming to half-inch sizes, you're going to use this end of the ruler. This one is for whole sizes.
pretty cool.
I know, very cool.
Pretty cool.
And this little ruler will trim everything from a 1.5 all the way up to a 6.5 inch. So here's what I really like about this ruler. Now this is not made this way, but this is a 1/4 square triangle block. Okay, so a tip for a 1/4 square triangle block is you need each one of those 4 triangles to be the same size.
Yes, and the center point to be in the center of the block. I think that's very difficult when you're going to trim it if you're not having something like this ruler that has double crosshairs.
See the diagonal lines, the 45-degree diagonal lines that are on there. I mean, not only does she have the size of your square that you're trimming, these diagonal lines are so important
They really
when
are.
trimming that up, because then you can trim all 4 sides equally. Then when you sew it into your block or into whatever you're sewing it, sometimes we chop those points off, and that's why. It's because one side was maybe a little bit larger or a little smaller than the others. So we are loving that Tucker Trimmer block. We're using it a lot. Okay, so enough about specialty rulers. Starch.
Yes.
Okay. I do not pre-wash my fabric.
I do not either.
I know.
I know some people do.
And that's okay. No judging here. I ain't got time for that.
No, me neither.
And I like that finish in there. I feel like it gives me a little bit more. I just like it. But this is my most favorite starch.
Yeah.
I feel like there are others that are out there that are also good products. I just feel like this magic spray, it's called Quilting and Crafting Spray. It's magic. You see it, magic. It gives it just a little more body. Now, some people, our Lynn that works with us, he will starch this stuff until it can stand up by itself.
Yeah, I don't
do that.
And I think I'm a little bit heavier starcher than you. So you've got to find that spot that
works
you're
for you.
comfortable with. And
So I pre-starch everything before I cut
me
it.
too.
Everything. And so sometimes what I do is I will starch my whole piece, set it aside, and just let it dry out. I know there are some designers out there that will put their fabric in a bathtub with starch and then hang it out to dry, and then that's too much work.
That's too much for me too.
I don't want to do all that.
But
I tried it once.
yeah, I did. I tried it on one quilt too. It took me forever.
Right? Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you really do have to have a lot of planning ahead. But
I didn't like that.
but this one, I feel like this one gives me a little bit heavier starch than
My nose itches. Does
I'm
that
sorry.
mean you're going to get company?
Does that mean someone's thinking about you? Isn't that what it is? What does it mean when your nose itches?
It means my nose itches. So sorry.
So I used to use Best Press.
Yes.
And I feel like this is a little bit heavier.
Yes.
And one of the reasons I switched to this is one of the ladies that I use for long arming, she says she likes it better in the long arming process, partially because she says it doesn't kick her over with so much fragrance.
So that's what I've started to notice. I love the lavender vanilla one was my favorite Best Press. But I would notice that I was getting a headache. I am so sensitive to perfumes and strong. Anyway, I do miss that, so you know what I do?
Oh,
I pour a drop, just a couple drops into my bottle.
and then you get a little bit
A
of
little
scent.
teeny bit, a little
There you
teeny
go.
bit, but not a lot. And I still get my nice, firmer starch.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I buy it by the gallon.
Me
We
too,
sell it by the
'cause I
gallon
use it.
because, yeah, you use it a lot. And it's
this
good stuff.
this spray bottle. So the first time I bought it, I just bought it in the spray bottle. They're nice spray bottles. They
I don't
don't
have that
spit
one.
out. You don't have this one?
I don't have that stuff. I've just always bought it in the gallons.
Oh,
And I've got a couple. Well, I have the Infinity
Misters.
sprayer, the Mister spray. But I just bought one just off Amazon. It's made for plants, so it's a super fine spray.
yes.
But I felt like my Mister bottles were getting clogged, so I don't know if I just didn't have good. I don't know. Anyway,
excuse me.
so but I like it. So anyway, but I'll have to try that next time I buy it.
This is a nice spray, and I mean, I still have my very first one that I ever used. This is the second one I bought because I was out of starch and we didn't have any other sizes. So I
Had to buy one of those.
but it's really a good sprayer. So great starch. Okay, let's have a second about ironing.
And we've talked about this before. But
Very important when you are ironing that you are not stretching your fat. So it's press, right?
Yeah.
It's press. It's not, we're not ironing our shirts.
or our sheets or our tablecloths.
Do you iron your sheets and tablecloths? Oh, I was worried about you for a second.
But you might be a little bit rougher on those than you will be on your
is
quilting.
true.
That's
this
what
is
I'm
true.
saying.
And it does make a difference, even if you're starching and pressing before you cut out, because sometimes if we're ironing, we can stretch that fabric, and then it's a little bit harder to get it a good nice straight. You can cut straight, but sometimes then it will throw, like if you got a stripe, it may throw that stripe a little bit off. If you're ironing it, it may not stay straight. So press, don't iron. Okay, now we can talk about seam line glue, right?
Yes.
This is such a fun thing. So our friend Pam Buddha came out and did a class for us a couple of years ago, and some people had been using this before, but that was my introduction to it. So here's what I love about this seam line glue. Let's say that I am sewing something that I've got a point that's going into the machine. My machine's going to try and grab that thing and push it right down in.
Yep, it is.
And it's really hard to put a pin there because then your machine really wants to grab and pull. It's a mess. So one little tiny drop of this seam line glue, you're just gonna take your piece, and I put it on the other side so I could show you, but you're just gonna take your piece, one little teeny tiny, just like
In
that.
the seam allowance,
Right
not out in your piece.
One little tiny drop right there at the point, just a drop. Then you're gonna take your piece on the top, lay it on there, put your iron on there, and it holds that piece together for you while you start to sew it. Now, what if I did that and I really didn't like it? So you can see this side of mine is glued, right? But what if I didn't do a good job? Well, you just simply pull it apart just like so.
It's pretty magical.
It's way
And
magical.
if I ever have a seam that is just being a stinker
Yep.
like this,
Yep.
I can use this, and I could kind of use it like my fork pin, just 2 little drops on both sides of my point. So this is just a handy thing. Now this little bottle may be your lifetime supply because you use a drop at a time. You just use a little
And you don't
tiny
use
bit.
it on everything.
No,
This is my first bottle, and I don't know if you can see how
It's
little.
barely down.
It's barely down.
It's barely down.
Barely
So
down.
seam line glue it's pretty magical. So stubborn seams, if you've had a seam that you've unpicked twice and you can't get it to go, maybe try seam line glue.
Yes.
And points. Points.
And
I
definitely
mean, you just
points.
can't pin well enough, hold well enough. You just don't have enough fabric down there at
Even
this
with
point.
an awl, I mean, I've even tried to do it with an awl, but you got to be up in here. Well, that's where
You don't have enough space.
You don't.
So let the glue do the work.
Also, when you're sewing, whenever you can, 4 patches, 9 patches, whatever it is you're sewing, if you can sew into the seams, that will help push that seam. So this seam is nested. So by sewing this into my seam, it's going to push that top one in just slightly into the one on the back side. you'll get a better seam.
And the other reason you do that too is so that this doesn't flip underneath for you. So
yes.
Yeah, anytime you can, there's times you can't.
Yes.
But you know what? You could do a little seam line glue and sew that seam down.
You sure could. Seam line, seam line, seam. Okay, now, I know we showed these already.
We did.
But I'm going to show it again because a clapper, to me, when I'm trying to get my pieces to lay nice and flat, if I'm pressing seams open, I'm going to use this handy dandy little tool. This is made by Gypsy.
And it's fairly new.
I
like it.
I really like this one. We've done the strip sticks forever.
And I've got those too.
Me too. And they're great. But here's the thing that I like, two things. This has a little strip of wool on the top, which we all know is amazing for helping with seams. And it's a little bit deeper here, so your piece can actually lay over without you actually pressing into that piece. So this that little tool,
and it can be used as a clapper as well.
It can. It's not heavy though.
No,
it's really not heavy.
Just
but that's what this side is meant to do. But I like a little bit of weight.
Me too.
3 pounds in this clapper. That's a nice little bit of weight. And my other thing that I cannot live without is my wool mat. It just makes your pieces lay down so much flatter. I love those wool mats. They're great, 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 great. So a long time ago, Laurie taught me this. When you're making a block that's got a lot of different units in it, measure each one of those units before you sew it together. Because if I'm making, let's say I've got flying geese, half square triangles, and maybe a square and square. Maybe I've got all those things, okay? So on this one, I've got half square triangles, flying geese, and square and squares. Okay, if my now I've used my rulers, so I know these are perfect, but let's say maybe that I didn't do such a great job measuring my half square triangles, and I start to then sew all this together.
Yeah.
It's not gonna.
It may not go together.
And
little differences in a block like this. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units in this top row, and it's going to make a huge difference if they're off, too small, too big. Massive.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. So measure everything before you sew it into your block.
And if you're measuring at the very beginning, you'll pick up on things like, oh, my 1/4 inch is off. Oh, my, whatever, if you're measuring at the beginning rather than sewing your entire quilt together and then realizing, oh.
Now, where did I go wrong? What happened? Okay, my last little thing that I have to show you is my little design board, right?
And I've shown how to make these before, so.
Yeah, they're so fun. They're great. But I like to, because Liz has a thing about. Tell them what you.
So you pick this up and you hold it together and you move it to your machine. How does it move? How does it then all of a sudden I sew this side together? Or I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's the sewing.
It's crazy.
Trolls.
Right. Come in and mess you all up. So I like to use these little, and I've got them in several different sizes, but I like to use these little design boards to lay out my pieces that either go into a block or even just into a unit, because sometimes you have lots of pieces that go in there. So I will lay my pieces all out, audition them on my board and be like, yeah, and then sometimes take them to my machine and still screw it up.
Well, and what I like is at my cutting table, I lay everything out on my design board, and then I pick that up and I move that to my sewing machine. So it's just a mover.
Jen Kingwell has a really cool one that's it's this cool fabric-y stuff. I don't even know what the fabric-y stuff is, but there's lots of different pages.
Oh.
So like if I'm going to a retreat or even if I just want to lay those pieces out on there, and then I've got to move them because there's something else I've really got to get to, I can roll those up. They stay right in that nice little thing. They don't move. They don't stick to the backside.
That's pretty cool.
It's really
so
cool.
If I'm cutting out a bunch of blocks and I need to travel with it, I just stack these
'em.
all up, and then I use leftover binding and I tie it like a pretty bow, and then they're all just together. And I'll lay another one on top so that I have nothing on top.
I had a lady come in and she used saran wrap on hers.
Oh.
She put saran wrap over her
There you
boards to
go.
keep every.
There you go.
You were always learning fun new things.
We are.
Right.
Sarah says, love listening to you ladies.
Oh, thank you, Sarah.
Karen says, I love my Martelli mat. It's they're heavier and last longer. They are.
Oh, okay.
They're good.
Okay.
And Kay Grua says good morning.
Good morning, sweet Kay.
Well, we have chatted for almost an hour. So
we better shut up.
It's time to be
I got a lot of work to do. I got to
do
get
too.
ready. And Liz got to leave. So we better say goodbye for today. We hope that maybe we try every once in a while to give some
good tips.
We try.
Good information.
Instead
we hope
of
you
just
learned
making
something
you laugh.
today.
So yeah, we hope that maybe something that we shared with you, you're like, I've got that darn ruler. I'm going to go get it out.
Grab
and I'm going to use
I'm gonna
that
grab that
one
pen.
today.
I'm going to grab those pins. I'm going to grab something. So, but be prepared next week for goals.
Goals. Yes.
We'll be chatting.
Have a great week and Happy New Year,
Happy
everybody.
New Year.
Take
Yeah,
care.
it'll be 2026.
Yeah, it will. Take care, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Be kind. Bye-bye.